easiest way to learn Windows 98. Hi, I'm Julie Leiden, and it's my pleasure to help you explore and understand the many features of Windows 98. In this video, we're going to show you the most important components of Windows 98, so you can start getting your computer to do whatever you want it to. Once you understand the basics, you can learn even more about the advanced features of Windows 98 in the rest of our Learn Windows 98 training series. Joining us via video conference are our training experts, Tom Jaffe and Raina Chudnovsky. Tom is the president of WinStruct, and previously he spent 6 years with Microsoft marketing Windows and traveling the world lecturing and training Microsoft's Salesforce and over 50,000 Microsoft customers. Raina is the president of Next Step Technologies. She has a master's degree in educational technology from Harvard University, and she regularly trains key employees at some of the largest U.S. corporations, including Fidelity, Gillette, and AT&T. So welcome, Raina. Welcome, Tom. Sounds like we're in for some great training today.
You bet, Julie. There's a lot of great things we want to cover today, but don't worry, we're not going to bombard you with everything we know. Just yet.
That's right. In this video, we're going to cover the basics of Windows 98, and then you can learn more about the advanced capabilities and the rest of our Learn Windows 98 series.
And with that, let's get right to it and start learning how to use Windows 98. Tom and Raina are going to give you a quick overview of all those icons and buttons you see in Windows 98. And then, once you know what each icon does, we'll explain them in more detail. As you're watching this, let me point out that the system we'll be showing has a standard Windows 98 configuration. It's possible that your computer manufacturer may have added or removed some of the icons that you'll see on our computers. Another thing you should note is that with Windows 98, there are two ways to set up your desktop. The Windows 95 Classic desktop makes the icons work the way they did in Windows 95, so you can click once to select an icon and double-click to open it. Or you can choose what's called the Active desktop, which makes Windows work more like a web page, so you can single-click to start your programs. In this video, we're going to start with the Windows 95 Classic desktop, and we'll explain the Active desktop in our Learn Windows 98 Beyond the Basics video. But no worries, just about everything we teach you should apply to your system as well. Okay, are you ready? Tom, let's start up Windows and start learning.
Okay, here goes. When you first start Windows 98, the first thing you'll see in here is the Welcome to Windows 98 screen. This is worth reviewing because it will help you get started with Windows. If you move your mouse pointer over the words Register Now, you'll notice that a description appears on the right side explaining why you should click here and fill out the registration information.
So do you think we should register?
I would definitely recommend that you click this button and go through the steps to register your copy of Windows. If you do register, you'll be able to access Microsoft's technical support over the internet, and you'll also get free information and free software downloads that'll enhance Windows. And it doesn't cost anything to register.
The next thing you can do is connect to the internet, so you can send and receive email, surf the web, and take advantage of all the online features that are built into Windows 98. If you click here, it will bring up Microsoft's Internet Connection Wizard that will step you through the process of connecting your computer to the internet. We'll show you how to use this in just a few minutes when we start showing you the internet capabilities of Windows 98. So for now, I'll click Cancel and exit the wizard. If you click on Discover Windows 98, it will take you to a tutorial that provides a brief overview of some of the features in Windows 98. But in this video series, we're going to give you a much more detailed explanation.
And at the bottom of the list is the Maintain Your Computer option. Scheduled maintenance is one of the important additions to Windows 98. Just like you need to change the oil in your car, you also need to maintain your computer to keep it running at its best. So if you click the Maintain Your Computer option, you'll see a wizard that will step you through the process of setting up all these automatic maintenance tasks. You can choose the Express option here to set up the most common choices, or if you're planning to view our Tips, Tricks, and Shortcuts video, we'll explain some of the advanced options so you'll know how to choose the options to make your computer work its best. Once you've gone through all these options in the Welcome to Windows 98 screen, you'll want to click the box next to where it says Show this screen each time Windows 98 starts and remove the check mark. This way, next time you start Windows, you'll be able to get straight to your work.
or straight to your Play, because the next major item you find on your desktop is a channel bar. The channel bar gives you one-click access to some great websites that take advantage of the internet functionality that's built into Windows 98. If you hold your mouse over one of the options, like Warner Brothers, it tells you that you'll find this information about movies, TV, shopping, and of course cartoons. Or if you click on the Channel Guide button at the top of the channel bar, it will tell you about all the other channels you can choose from and add to your channel bar. We'll show you how to use channels in our Learn Windows 98 Advanced Internet and Email video.
So now we can see all those icons on the Windows 98 desktop. How about a quick description of each of them?
The first thing many of you will notice about Windows 98 is that it looks a lot like Windows 95.
That's right. And just like with Windows 95, Windows 98 contains an icon on the top of the screen labeled My Computer. When you double-click on it, it opens to show you all the places where information is stored on your computer, including your floppy disk, hard drive, CD-ROM drive, and any other storage devices that you might have, like a zip drive or a DVD drive. When you double-click on one of these drive icons, like my hard drive, it brings up all the folders and files that are stored on the drive. From here, you can move the files to organize them, or you can double-click on a file to open it.
The next icon, called My Documents, is a convenient place to store the documents that you create so you can easily find them later. Let's say you're working on a document in Word called Classic Cars. When you save the file, you can specify that you want to save it in the My Documents folder. This way, you'll be able to find the document later by double-clicking on the My Documents icon on your desktop. And you can open the file by double-clicking on it. Next, if your computer is connected to a network, you'll see the Network Neighborhood icon. The Network Neighborhood allows you to connect to other computers and printers on the network. This lets you use the files and printers on those remote computers just like they're on your own computer.
Next, we have the icon for Internet Explorer. Internet Explorer, also known as IE, is Microsoft's web browser that allows you to explore the World Wide Web. So when you want to surf the web, just double-click on IE and log in. But in order to log in, you need to set up an account with an Internet Service Provider, or ISP. Larger organizations will often have Internet access already set up, but if you're a home user or small business, you'll first need a modem that's connected to a telephone line, and then you'll need to sign up with an ISP. The next few icons will help you set this up. There's the Online Services folder, the Microsoft Network icon, and the Connect to the Internet icon. The Online Services folder contains the icons for a number of ISPs, including America Online, AT&T WorldNet, CompuServe, and Prodigy. To set up an internet account with one of these vendors, just double-click on the icon and follow the directions. If you have any questions and you need to speak with these companies directly, you can double-click on the About the Online Service icon, where you'll find all their telephone numbers. Back on the desktop, there's another icon labeled Set up the Microsoft Network. This is basically just like the icons in the Online Services folder. So if you want to set up an account with Microsoft's Online Service, which is also known as MSN, you can double-click here and follow their directions.
That's a lot of internet service providers to choose from. How do you decide which one to use?
Good question. There are a number of issues you should consider when deciding on an internet service provider. I'd recommend that you contact the companies to find out how much they charge per month for their service. You should make sure you can access the service with a local phone call. I'd also make sure your ISP has technical support available at the times of day that you're most likely to need it. And you might find out if they offer other benefits with their service, like special information, shopping, or maybe some other discounts.
Well, I guess I'll have to do some homework to make that decision. Now, what about the Connect to the Internet icon? How is that different from the MSN and Online Services icons?
The Connect to the Internet icon will take you to a wizard that steps you through the process of connecting your computer to the Internet. I think this is the easiest way to get connected, so let's go through it so I can show you how to connect your PC to the Internet.
Okay, now would be a good time to get connected, so you can show us how to use all the Internet features of Windows 98.
All right, but before you can connect to the Internet, you need to make sure that your modem is connected into your phone line.
Yeah, you won't get very far without the phone line connected. I know that my modem's connected, so let's start by double-clicking on the Connect to the Internet icon, which will take us to the Internet Connection Wizard. A wizard's like having an expert right inside your computer. It steps you through a difficult task, like in this case, connecting to the Internet. There are three options here. Select the first one if you don't have an Internet account at all. Select the second option if you have an Internet account, but your computer's not connected. Or you can choose the third option if you've already connected. Since I don't have a connection to the Internet right now, I'll choose the first option and then click Next. Now, Windows 98 automatically dials a toll-free number which connects to Microsoft's referral service and downloads a list of Internet service providers, or ISPs, that are available in my area. When I click on one of the ISPs, more information appears about that ISP service. Once I choose a service and click Next, I can be taken to some additional screens that will guide me through the specific sign-up process for each service. While each sign-up process is a bit different, they all have a few things in common that you should look out for. For instance, all these services will prompt you to send your credit card information. You should always be careful about giving your credit card number on the Internet. But since I'm pretty sure that Microsoft would only recommend ISPs that have a good reputation, I wouldn't worry about sending my credit card information this time. You'll be asked to choose a payment plan. Most of the services let you choose between a plan that has a lower monthly fee but gives you less time online, or a plan with a higher monthly fee that gives you unlimited access. If you're not sure how much time you'll be spending online, choose a less expensive plan for the first month. You can always change your plan after you've signed up. Another area that can be a bit tricky is selecting a phone number that you'll use to dial into your ISP. There are two things that you should be aware of when you're choosing a phone number. The first is that you should know how fast your modem can send and receive information. When you're given a list of phone numbers to choose, you may see a number that's next to the phone number like 56.6. These numbers refer to how fast your modem can send and receive information. For fastest performance, you should always choose a connection that is as fast, if not faster, than your modem. So for example, if I have a 56.6 modem, I should choose a 56.6 connection or higher. The second thing you should be sure to do is to choose a local phone number, because if you choose a phone number outside of your area code, you may get a long-distance charge on your phone bill every time you log on to the Internet. Once you've completed all this information, your system will automatically be set up to connect to the ISP that you just chose. So when you double-click on the Internet Explorer or Outlook Express, you can just dial up and connect to the Internet.
Next, you'll see an icon for Outlook Express. This is the email program that lets you send and receive electronic messages to or from anyone in the world who has an email account on the Internet.
Since Microsoft is environmentally friendly and politically correct, Windows includes a recycle bin rather than a trash can to dispose of your deleted files. But just like a trash can, if you ever delete something that you want to get back later, all you need to do is open the recycle bin and you can move it back to its original location.
The next icon is the briefcase. If you have a laptop computer that's connected to a network, you may find the briefcase to be really helpful. The briefcase lets you copy files from the network onto your laptop, and then when you disconnect your laptop from the network, you can modify those files, and then when you reconnect your laptop to the network, you can automatically upload those files onto the network, so the most current versions of the files are always available for other people in the company to use.
Well, that covers all the icons on the desktop. What can you tell us about the Start button and the taskbar at the bottom of the screen?
The Start button provides an easy way to access the most common things you'll want to do with your computer, like finding and starting your programs, opening your documents, customizing your system, or getting help. For example, if you want to get help, just click on the Start button, click on Help, and as you can see, the Help program opens up. The taskbar shows you which programs are running on your computer. Since we just started Help, you can see its icon on the taskbar. If we open another program, like the calculator, you'll see icons for both the calculator and Help appear in the taskbar. And whenever you want to switch to a program that you've just been running, click its button in the taskbar and its window opens up.
I see. And what about the little icons that are in the taskbar?
This is called the Quick Launch Toolbar, and this is yet another way that Windows 98 makes it easy to start the programs you're likely to use most, such as Internet Explorer and Outlook Express. Just one click and you can start the program. Let's say I need to get back to my desktop to click on one of my desktop icons, like my computer. I can click on the Show Desktop button, and all my windows are minimized into the taskbar. And if I want to bring the windows back up, just click it again.
Okay, that was a quick overview of the Windows 98 user interface and desktop. So let's review from top to bottom. My Computer, where you can access all the information on your computer. My Documents, which is a convenient place to store your documents so you can easily find them later. Network Neighborhood, which provides you access to all the other computers and printers on your network. Internet Explorer, Microsoft's web browser program that allows you to access the World Wide Web. The Online Services folder, MSN, and Connect to the Internet, which let you sign up with an Internet service provider and connect your computer to the Internet. Outlook Express, the Windows 98 email program where you can send, receive, and read your electronic mail. Recycle Bin, which holds your deleted files in case you need to get them back at a later time. The Briefcase, which lets you synchronize files on the network with files on your laptop PC. The Start button, which, as the name suggests, is the place to start doing just about anything you want to do on your computer. And the Taskbar, where you can see all the programs that are running and easily switch between them with just a click of the mouse. Now that you know your way around your desktop, you're ready to start learning how to use each of these features. So let's get started with the Start button. Okay guys, let's take a look at each item on the Start menu and then we'll review each item in more detail.
Sounds like a good plan, so I'll click the Start button and bring up the Start menu. The top item on the Start menu is called Windows Update. This is one of the great ways that the Internet is integrated with Windows 98. Windows Update is a website that has new components you can add to Windows, like games or desktop themes. But more importantly, it can automatically check your system and determine if there are any software updates that you should install to keep your system running better.
The next item on the Start menu is Programs. When you select Programs, you'll see a list of your program groups, such as Accessories, or the Startup group, or any other program you might have installed, like Microsoft Office. To start a program such as Paint, just click on the group where the program is located. In this case, you want to click Accessories and click on the program.
The next icon on the Start menu is Favorites. This is where you can quickly access your favorite websites. For example, when you find a website that you want to go back to, like Yahoo, you can add it to your Favorites folder in Internet Explorer. When you want to connect to Yahoo again, you can select it from the Start menu. It'll bring up your browser and connect to your favorite website.
Next on the Start menu is Documents. Windows 98 will remember the last 15 documents you used, so you can quickly find them here and open them.
I noticed that the My Documents folder appears on the desktop and in the Documents folder on the Start menu.
Good observation, Julie. Since most people want to use their own documents all the time, Windows 98 makes it easy to access them from several different places. Under Settings, you'll find a number of items, including the Control Panel, which allows you to customize many aspects of your system, like your mouse, your monitor, or the Internet, to work the way you want it to. Printers allows you to set up your printer so it'll work with Windows. Folder Options lets you set up your desktop icons to look and work more like a web page, so you can launch your programs with a single click instead of a double click. An Active Desktop lets you add live internet content right onto your desktop. So for example, you can have a stock ticker or a news ticker always displaying the latest information on your desktop without even having the web browser open. In our Learn Windows 98 Beyond the Basics video, we'll show you how to customize all of these settings so you can set up Windows to work the way you feel most comfortable.
The next icon, Find, makes it easy to find whatever you're looking for, like a file, a website, or a person. Find can search your computer, or it can search other computers on your local area network, or you can even go here to find things on the internet. And Help has a wealth of information covering just about anything you'll need to know about Windows 98. But if new information becomes available at a later date that's not in the Help file, you can click on the Web Help button, which takes you to Microsoft's Windows Update website, which will always have the latest information. Next, you'll see Run. Run lets you start programs or open files by typing in the name of whatever it is that you want to run. For example, if you want to install a program from a floppy disk, you can type in /setup.
The next item is Log Off. This feature is useful if you have more than one person using the same computer. Some offices or homes have one computer that several people share. In Windows 98, each user can create their own environment. For example, Tom likes clouds in the background and might want a desktop shortcut to Word and Excel, whereas I like the active desktop with the stock ticker running. With the Log Off feature, Tom and I can use the same computer, and when Tom logs in, he'll see the clouds, and when I log in, I'll see the stock ticker. Finally, there's Shutdown. Before you press the off button on your computer, you should always exit Windows by clicking Shutdown, which will make sure that you don't lose any important information.
All right. Now that we're acquainted with each item on the Start menu, let's learn how to use them so you can get Windows 98 to do everything you want it to. Not just the easiest way, but also the fastest way.
The first thing most people want to do on their computer is to launch a program like Microsoft Word. To do this, I'll click on the Start button, and then I'll move the mouse up to Programs. The small triangle on the right indicates that another menu will slide out when I hover the mouse over for just a moment or click on the item. Notice how a number of programs now appear on the right. To start Word, just point the mouse to the Word icon and click on it. Okay, now that we've opened Word, let's take a look at some of the features that you'll find in just about any Windows program. At the top right corner, there are three buttons: Minimize, Maximize or Restore, and Close. The Minimize button shows a line at the bottom of a box. The box represents your screen, and the line is your taskbar. If you click on the Minimize button, you'll see how the open window shrinks into a button on the taskbar. When a program is minimized, it means that its window is just shrunk down into the taskbar to make room for other programs that you may have running on your desktop. But the program is still running. So if you want to start using the program again, just click on its button on the taskbar and its window will reopen on your desktop. The middle button shows two overlapping windows, which indicates that when I click on it, the program's window shrinks to a smaller size so I can work with other programs at the same time. Notice now that the picture in the middle button shows one big window, and when I click on it, the program is maximized to fill the entire screen.
Wait a minute, you mean the picture on the middle button actually changes? That's kind of confusing. What if I forget what the pictures mean?
Well, you may have noticed that when you hold your mouse pointer over the button, a tooltip appears to tell you what the button does. Tooltips also work in the taskbar, so the quickest way to find out what something does is to hold your mouse pointer over it and read the label. So as the tooltip shows, the button with an X on it is the Close button. The Close button allows you to quickly exit a program. Since we've made some changes to the document that we haven't saved yet, the dialog box will ask us if we want to save our work before closing the file. In other words, you won't lose any work if you click the Close button by mistake. And now that we've closed Word, you'll notice that its icon has been removed from the taskbar.
There are a number of items that you'll find in most Windows programs, so let me point them out quickly. At the top of the window is the menu bar, which lists the most common commands you'll use. Usually, you'll see File, Edit, View, Help, and a few other items. In most Windows programs, under the File menu, you'll find the commands to open a new or existing file, save your file, print your file, or exit. Beneath the menus, you'll usually find a toolbar which gives you one-click access to the most commonly used features, like Open, Save, and Print. Notice how the tooltip tells you what each button does. On the right is a scroll bar that lets you scroll through your documents either one line at a time by clicking the up or the down arrow, or you can move a screen at a time by clicking on the inside of the bar.
Great! Well, now that we know how to work with our programs, let's get back to the next item on the Start menu, Favorites.
If you ever find a web page that you want to go back to, like www.winstruct.com, you don't have to remember that long web address to get there. All you have to do is save it in the Favorites folder, and then you can return the web page by finding it in the Start menu. For example, I like to go to the Slate magazine website to read their take on the weekly news. To get to Slate's website, I can open the Internet Explorer and type in the web address www.slate.com. But since I come back to this site all the time, I'll click on Favorites in the menu bar, click on Add to Favorites, and this adds Slate to my Favorites folder. Now the next time I want to read Slate magazine, if I'm an Internet Explorer, I can click on the Favorites menu and choose Slate. Or if I don't have Internet Explorer open yet, I can click the Start button and select it from the Favorites folder.
The Favorites folder is not just limited to websites. You can also save documents for the same quick and easy access. For example, whenever I travel, I need to create an expense report in Excel. Instead of having to hunt for my expense report template every time I need to use it, I can add it to my Favorites folder by opening the file and then clicking File, Save As, and the Save As dialog box will appear. You'll notice that there's a folder button with an asterisk in the middle, and the tooltip says, Look in Favorites. Click on this button to move to the Favorites folder, and we'll click OK to save the expense report file into the Favorites folder. Now, if we go back to the Start button, click on Favorites, we can see that our expense report is now in the Favorites folder. To open the expense report, all we have to do is click on it. You can see that Excel opens up and loads the expense report template.
Like Favorites, Documents is also designed to help you find things more quickly. Most people will tend to work on documents that they've been working on recently. The Documents folder automatically creates a list of the last 15 documents you've worked on. Since we just saved the expense report, notice that it now appears in the Documents list, and it has an Excel icon next to it. And just like with Favorites, to reopen a document, just click on it.
The Documents folder will be convenient if you've used the file recently, but we all know how frustrating it is when you need a file and can't remember where you put it. That's why the Find feature is one of my favorite tools in Windows 98.
Find is a great tool, and it's available right on the Start menu. With Find, I can search for files that are on my computer or that may be located on another computer on my network, or it can even connect me to a search engine on the internet. With Find, you can also look up information on people that you may have in your own contact lists, or Find can connect you to a website where you can search for people all around the internet. Let me give you a demonstration of Find. About 6 months ago, I was thinking of buying a car, and a friend of mine sent me a document that has information about cars in it. I can't remember where I put it, but it's not a problem since I know that it includes the word cars and that I saved it about 6 months ago. So to find it, I'll click on Find and choose Files and Folders. Under the Name and Location tab, I can't remember what the file is named, but since it contains the text cars, I'll enter that here. And since I saved it about 6 months ago, under the Date tab, I'll click During the Previous, and I'll choose 8 months just to be safe. Now, when I click on Find Now, it starts searching through all my files. As you can see, Find works pretty fast. It located 3 files with the text Cars in it that I saved in the last 8 months. But I'm not sure which one is the file that I want, so I'll do a right mouse click on it to bring up a shortcut menu.
Time out, guys. Did you say the right mouse button? I thought that's only for left-handed people.
Actually, the right mouse button is very useful throughout Windows because it brings up a shortcut menu that lists the options that you'll most likely want to choose for the item that you're clicking on. So when I right-click on an item in this list, you can see that there's an option for Quick View, which will quickly show what's inside the file without having to start Word. Hey, lucky guess. This is the file I'm looking for, and to start Microsoft Word and open this file, I'll just click on the Word icon in the Quick View window.
So if you can't remember where you put a file, click Find on the Start menu and Windows will do the work for you. Now what does Find on the Internet do?
Find on the Internet takes you to a website that includes a number of search engines so you can find whatever you're looking for on the Internet. You can select a different search engine, or you can select a category like movies, shopping, stock quotes, or weather. Or you can type in whatever you're looking for in the search field. Hey, I have an idea. Let's find WinStruct's website. So I'll type WinStruct, click on the search button, and the search comes back with a list of sites. To bring up the site we want, just click on the link.
Would you find people the same way?
You can, but the best way to find people is through the Find People option on the Start menu. This brings up a dialog box that lets you look in your own address book, or you can connect to a search engine on the Internet, like 411, InfoSpace, or Switchboard. Let's try Switchboard. And, who should we search for? How about Tom?
Gee, that's a creative idea, Raina.
Thanks. So I'll type in Tom Cruise and click the Find Now to see if it has any information. Some information came right up, and I can double click on the listing to get more details, like Tom's address and phone number. Oh, well, I guess he's not giving that information out, but if I right-click on the listing, I can send email to Tom, or I can add him to my personal address book.
Can you show me how to do that one more time, Raina?
Well, how about if I show you something else? If you don't find all the information you need, just click the website button, and it will give a lot more options to find what you need.
Well, now that we know about Find, that ought to cut down a lot of time and frustration. And speaking of frustration, next we're going to show you how to use the help system, so you won't get stuck when you need information about Windows. Since the software guys aren't always going to be by your side, it's a good thing that Microsoft offers online help in Windows 98.
Online help covers just about anything you'd care to know about Windows 98, and it's written in a step-by-step format so you can follow the directions to accomplish just about whatever you need. To start help, click on the Start button and click on Help. If you click on the Contents tab, you'll see a number of books that you can open by clicking on them. Let's say I need to install a new modem. I can find help on this topic by looking in the Managing Hardware and Software book, and then in the Installing New Hardware and Software book, and finally clicking on the Install a Modem page. As you can see, the step-by-step information appears automatically on the right pane of the Help window.
That seems like a lot of clicking. Is there a faster way to find help?
If you know what you're looking for, you can click on the Index tab, type in a word, and it will search the titles of all the help entries. So I'll type in modem, and you can see the list of topics below, including one called Installing. But let's say you tried using the index and you still can't find what you're looking for. In this case, you can click on the Find tab and type in a keyword to search on, like Install Modem. This will search all of the text inside the entire help file to try to find a match. As you can see, it brings up a list of related topics, including one called To Install a Modem. And when I double click on it, the words install and modem are highlighted in the instructions. Notice the underlined text says click here. Some of the online help screens include a link that you can click on to go directly to where you need to go. In this case, when I click here, Windows automatically starts the Install New Modem wizard that'll step us through the process of installing a new modem.
What if I have questions when I'm using the wizard?
Let me show you another great feature. In the dialog that comes up, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner with a question mark in it. When you click on this button, the mouse pointer appears with a question mark in it, and then you can click on any item in the box to find out what it does. Like if I click on dialing properties, a description appears explaining what it does.
Well, I can see that the help system is pretty extensive, but I can't imagine that help has information on everything I might look for.
Yeah, that's a good point, because over time Microsoft will find new problems and issues. So Windows 98 has a feature called Web Help that connects you to Microsoft's website for the most current help information. Just click on the Web Help button here, then click the Support Online link, and you'll be connected to the website. And from here, you can select the product you need help on, and you can type in your question. If you can't find what you need, then you can click the link to contact Microsoft Technical Support, so you can either send email or call them with your question.
So between the online help, the internet help, and the call center, you should be able to get the answer to any question you may have. The last thing we want to show you on the Start menu is the last thing you want to do when you're finished using Windows. Shut down your computer. I've seen some people exit Windows by just turning off the power switch on their computer. Will it damage your computer to do that?
It can be a bad idea for a couple of reasons. If you've forgotten to save your work, Windows will remind you to do so you won't lose any information. And second, Windows opens a whole bunch of temporary files that it needs to close before you exit. If you just turn off the power switch, then all those temporary files will be left on your hard disk, and they'll take up valuable disk space. So to close out of Windows safely, click the Start button and choose Shutdown. Windows will give you several choices at this point, but for now, just stick with the one that says Shut Down. We'll tell you more about the other options in our Learn Windows 98 Beyond the Basics video. The shutdown process usually takes a few seconds, so Windows will post a message on your screen asking you to wait. Finally, you'll see a message that says, it's now safe to turn off your computer. And at this point, you can turn off the power switch.
Okay, that's a lot of information we've covered. So if you need to review, now would be a good time to go back and watch any parts of this module again. When you're ready, we'll take you to your next big step in exploring the Windows 98 interface, the taskbar and toolbars. One of the great features of Windows is that you can have more than one program running at the same time, so you can quickly switch back and forth between them and combine the information from one program into another. But when you have lots of windows open at the same time, it's kind of hard to find the program you want.
Let me show you how the taskbar makes it easy to move information from one program into another. Right now, you can see on my taskbar that I have Word, Excel, and Outlook Express running. Let's say I want to copy a chart from Excel into a document in Word. First, I'll switch to Excel by clicking on its button on the taskbar. Now I can highlight the chart and click the Copy button on the toolbar in Excel. Now I need to switch to Word, so I'll click its button on the taskbar, and you can see that Word opens up. To paste the chart, I'll click the mouse where I want the chart to go, and then I'll click the Paste button on the toolbar in Word.
Well, that seems easy enough. What else can the Windows 98 taskbar do?
At the left of the taskbar, there are 4 buttons on what's called the Quick Launch toolbar. These programs aren't running yet, but you can launch them with one quick click. As the tooltip shows, the first button launches Internet Explorer, the second button launches Outlook Express, the email program, the third button, Show Desktop, quickly minimizes all your open windows so you can access the icons on your desktop, and you can click it again to open all the windows back up on your desktop.
So in other words, you don't have to click the minimize button of every window to see your desktop. Now that's a time saver. And if you just want to open one window, you can click its button on the taskbar.
Now the last button on the Quick Launch toolbar is called View Channels. When you click here, it connects you to the Active Channel Guide website that lists thousands of websites that take advantage of Internet Explorer. With an active channel, you can do things like automatically download web pages onto your hard drive so you can surf them without being connected. Or you can have the website email you the information you want. This is great for newspapers and magazines. Or you can put live stock tickers and news tickers right onto your desktop. We'll show you how to set these up in our Learn Windows 98 Advanced Internet and Email video.
I'll look forward to that. But to summarize this section, the taskbar shows you which applications are running and lets you switch between them with just one click of the mouse. And the Quick Launch toolbar gives you one-click access to your favorite programs. Next, we're going to go back to the desktop to show you how to take advantage of all those icons. In the first module, we gave you a quick overview of the icons on the Windows 98 desktop. Now let's explore the icons in more depth so you can take advantage of all those capabilities. Tom, let's start with My Computer.
Okay, My Computer is the program you can use to search and organize your files. I'll double-click on it to open it up, and as you can see, the window is divided into two panes. On the right side are icons that represent the floppy drive, the hard drive, and the CD-ROM drive. You can also see the control panel and the printers folders, which are the same folders that you'll find if you click on the Start button and the Settings menu. My Computer just gives you another way to access these folders. And you'll see folders for dial-up networking, which lets you connect your computer via the telephone line, and for scheduled tasks, which lets you schedule maintenance tasks to keep your system running its best. When you click on one of the drive icons, like your C drive, you'll see a pie chart showing how much space is used and how much is still available. If you double-click on the icon, you'll see all the files and the folders that are on your hard drive, so you can find and organize them. As we mentioned earlier, some of you may have your computer set up so that a single click takes you to your files and folders. In this case, if you just hover over the icon with your mouse pointer, it will select the item so you can see the details about it on the left-hand side of the pane.
I can definitely use some suggestions on organizing my files because I never know where to save things, and then I have to spend a lot of time looking for what I need.
The best way to keep your hard drive organized is to think of it as a filing cabinet. To organize a filing cabinet, you can label the drawers, put some dividers inside each drawer, and file your papers in manila folders inside the dividers. Now with My Computer, folders are like drawers, subfolders are like the manila folders, and the files are like your papers. Let me point out a few more things about My Computer. Across the top, you have a selection of menus. And below there's a toolbar and an address bar. You can use these tools to navigate through your own files, and you can even view web pages from within My Computer. But to view your own files, the view that I find most useful is Details. So I'll click the down arrow next to View and choose Details. Notice how all the files are now in a list under column headings with names like Name, File Size, File Type, and Date Modified. You can use each of these column headings to sort the list. For example, to make it alphabetical, I can click Name. Or to see the most recently modified file, I can click the Modified column. This shows the oldest files at the top of the list, but I can search in the reverse order by clicking that button again.
Well, I'm ready to organize my files. How do I create new folders and move files into them?
Let me show you. There are a couple of files about cars in the My Documents folder. One called Antique Cars and the other called Sedans. I don't want to clutter up the My Documents folder, so it makes sense to create a new folder called Cars and then to put all my information about cars into that folder. I think the most logical place for me to create the Cars folder is inside of the My Documents folder. So I'll double-click on the My Computer folder to open it up, and from here there are a couple of ways to create a new folder. I can click on the File menu, select New, and click on Folder. Or I can right-click on any empty space inside of this My Documents folder and choose New and Folder from the shortcut menu. Either way, we now have a new folder inside of the My Computer folder, and the next thing we need to do is to name it. So right-click on the icon and click on Rename from the shortcut menu, and then type in Cars. Now, we need to move the two files from the My Documents folder into the Cars folder. So I'll click on Antique Cars, and to also select Sedans, I'll hold down the Control key and then click on Sedans. Notice how both files are selected. So I can now click the Cut button on the toolbar, and now we can double-click on the Cars folder to open it, and click the Paste button to move the two files into the new folder. Now, an easier way to move these files would be to drag and drop them. So let me click the Undo button to move the files back to their original location. Here they are. And I'll click Antique Cars. Again, hold down the Control key and click on Sedans to select them both. Now, to drag and drop them in, I'll point the mouse to one of the highlighted files and click the right mouse button, and then we'll drag the file over to the Cars folder and release the mouse button. As you can see, I have options to move the file, copy the file, or to create a shortcut. You can also move the files just by using the left mouse button, but if you use the right mouse button, it'll give you these choices. In this case, I'll click Move. Now, if I double-click on the Cars folder, you can see that the files have been moved inside.
Moving files from one folder to another seems pretty easy, but what if I want to copy a file onto a floppy disk and I don't want to take it off my hard drive? Is there an easy way to copy the file instead of moving it?
Copying files is similar to moving files, but instead of clicking on the Cut button as you would to move the file, you need to click on the Copy button. Then move to the folder where you want the file to go, and then click on the Paste button. In this case, if you want to copy the file to the floppy disk, we'll click on the down arrow in the address field, click on 3.5-inch floppy, of course make sure you have a disk in the floppy drive, and then click on the Paste button. Or, an easier way to copy a file to the floppy drive is to right mouse click on it and bring up the shortcut menu. Click on Send To, and then you can click on 3.5-inch floppy.
Wow, that's really handy. Now let me review, guys. Moving or copying a file is a 4-step process. Step 1, click on the file you want to move or copy. Step 2, select Cut or Copy from the toolbar or Edit menu. Step 3, navigate through My Computer and click on the place where you want the file to go. Step 4, select Paste from either the toolbar or Edit menu. Okay, let's move down to the next item on the desktop, the recycle bin. Have you ever deleted a file by accident or even on purpose, but later you really wished you could get that file back? The recycle bin will be able to help.
When you delete a file in Windows 98, it isn't actually erased from your hard disk. Instead, it's moved to another folder on your hard drive called the recycle bin. If you ever need to retrieve a deleted file, you can open the recycle bin and move it back to its original folder. Let me show you how it works. First, let me delete this Antique Cars file. Notice that it's gonzo from the Cars folder, but if I double-click on the recycle bin icon, you can see that it's been moved here. Since I didn't really want to delete the file, I'll right-click on it and choose Restore. Notice that the file has been moved back to its original folder. Another way you can delete a file is by dragging and dropping it into the recycle bin. Of course, if you wanted to restore a deleted file back to a different place, like the desktop, you can just drag and drop it out of the recycle bin.
What if you have a confidential file that you want to really delete from your computer, instead of having it just move to the recycle bin?
To completely delete a confidential file, hold down the Shift key while you're pressing the Delete key, and the file will be removed from your system so that it can't be retrieved from the recycle bin.
Seems easy enough. Now let me summarize what we've covered in this module. We learned how to look at your files, move and copy files to other folders or to a floppy disk, and we learned how to delete and recover files from the recycle bin. In the next few modules, we'll show you how Windows 98 brings the internet right onto your desktop. We'll demonstrate what these features are, starting with the Internet Explorer. By now, most people know at least something about the Internet. For those of you who don't know exactly what it is, the Internet is a network that connects millions of computers all over the world. Once your computer is connected to the Internet, you can access all kinds of information that's stored on those computers, including electronic mail. You can read online newspapers and magazines. You can get the daily news and weather, and you can buy anything from food to cars to airline tickets. Now, I've heard of the term surf the web. Can you explain what that means?
Sure. In fact, I think there are two terms that we should define here, the web and surfing. The web refers to the World Wide Web, or WWW, which is the part of the Internet that most people use. A website usually has lots of graphics and pictures along with the text. Many of these items are automatically linked, or hyperlinked, to other related information. Now, when you click on a picture that's been hyperlinked, you'll get connected to another page that has related information. Surfing the web means that you're moving from web page to web page by clicking on these hyperlinks.
And if you're not careful, you can spend hours clicking on pictures and text and letting your curiosity lead you to websites all over the world. To access the web, you first need a connection to the Internet, and you need a web browser on your computer. We showed you how to connect your computer to the web earlier in this video. So in this section, we're going to show you how to use the Internet Explorer, which is the web browser included with Windows 98.
So let's take a look at the Internet Explorer. At the top of the window, you'll find the menus, the button bar, and the address bar. These will give you easy access to most of the functions you'll need to navigate the web. Below them is the area where the web page is displayed. When I start Internet Explorer, it brings up a start page from Microsoft that I've customized to include the information that I want most, like news, stocks, sports, weather, and information about Microsoft. Your computer might have a different start page, but it probably works more or less the same as mine. On this page, there are lots of hyperlinks. You can tell these are hyperlinks because when I move my mouse pointer over them, the pointer changes to a hand. If I want to find out more information about, say, the word of the day, I can click on the word, and it takes me to the Merriam-Webster website where I can get related information. From here, I could click on other links like Thesaurus and get even more related information. Now, if I want to go back to a previous page, I can click on the back button on the toolbar. If I want to go forward to the next page that I just viewed, then I can click on the forward button. I can also go back several pages at once by clicking the small down arrow next to the button and then clicking the web page that I want from the list. Like in this case, I want to go to Microsoft's Internet Start page.
Okay, I understand how to surf the web using hyperlinks, but what if I want to go to a separate website, like the WinStruct website?
To go to another website, you need to type in its web address in the address bar and then press enter. So guess which site I'm going to connect to? Right, I'll type www.winstruct.com here. Now when I press enter, you'll see the software guy's website.
I see. But what if I don't know the address for WinStruct's website?
If you don't know the address, you can use a search engine to find what you need. Just click the big search button and you'll be connected to a search page. From here you can select a category for your search, or you can just type in a keyword. In this case, WinStruct, and then click on the search button. As you can see, we have a variety of options to choose from, so we can click on one of the hyperlinks and it takes us right to our page.
It's really amazing if you think about it. There are millions of websites on the Internet, and the search engines will help you find what you're looking for in a matter of seconds. So now that you've found what I bet is your favorite website, can you show us how to get back there quickly without using the search engines again?
Internet Explorer has a great feature called Favorites that maintains a list of the websites that you want to visit again. This way, for example, you can easily return to the WinStruct website and find out about our new products when they come out. To list a website in favorites, we first need to save the website into the favorites folder by clicking on the favorites menu and then choosing the Add to Favorites option. A dialog box appears and asks if I want to subscribe to this page. Subscribing to a web page means that it will notify me of any changes to the website so that I can stay current with the latest information. We'll cover this in more detail in our advanced internet and email video. But for now, I'll choose not to subscribe. Next, I'll name the web page WinStruct.com and click OK. Now, whenever I want to visit the WinStruct website again, all I have to do is click on the Favorites menu and then click on WinStruct. Or, you might recall from our Start menu discussion that you can click on the Start button, choose Favorites, and right here you can see we can click on WinStruct.com.
Well, I'm excited to fire up Internet Explorer and start surfing the web myself, now that I know how to use hyperlinks, web addresses, searching, and favorites. But the other major Internet activity that we haven't covered yet is electronic mail. In our next section, we're going to learn to send and receive email using Outlook Express. Electronic mail, or email, is becoming one of the most popular forms of communication today. It allows you to exchange messages almost instantly with people all over the world. And the best part is, you don't have to pay for stamps and you don't have to wait in line at the post office. Outlook Express also lets you sign on to news groups where you can exchange ideas with other people on just about any topic you can think of. We'll cover Outlook in depth in our Learn Windows 98 Advanced Internet and Email video. But in this section, we're going to give you a quick demonstration of the basics of Outlook Express so you can start making pen pals all around the world.
All right, well, let me give you a demonstration of the basics of Outlook Express. So we'll double-click on the Outlook Express icon to start the program. The first thing we see is a dialog box asking if we want to log on to the Internet. But for now, we'll tell it not to dial up a connection. This way, we don't have to waste online time or tie up our phone line until we're ready to send and receive email. The next screen we see gives a graphical view of the choices available, including reading mail and composing a message. On the left pane, there's a list of all the folders where you can store your mail messages. And at the top, there's a toolbar with the buttons you can click to compose a message, send and receive your email, find an address, connect to the Internet, or to hang up your phone line. Let's start by clicking the Compose Message button. This brings up a new message template. Let's say you wanted to train your entire company on Windows and you wanted to ask WinStruct about our volume discounts. To address the message to WinStruct, in the To field, type in our address, info@winstruct.com. And in the subject field, you can enter volume discounts. Okay, in the screen below, you can enter your message. How about, what are your volume discounts on videos and CDs? Okay, now the message is ready to send, so you can click the Send button. However, it won't actually send until you connect to the Internet. And to do that, you need to click on the Send and Receive button.
When you click Send and Receive, all the messages in your outbox are sent out, and any new messages arrive in your inbox. On the right, in the top pane, you can see the list of messages that have arrived in the inbox. Notice the labels show who the message is from, what the subject is, and when the message was received. If we click once on the Welcome to Microsoft Outlook message, the bottom pane shows you what's inside the message. If you want to read the message, you can just double-click on it, and it brings up the message in a separate window. From here, you can read the message and then use the toolbar to either delete it or reply to it. To reply to the person who sent you the message, just click the Reply to Author button, and it brings up another window where you can type in your message and then click Send. If you don't need this message anymore, you can click the Delete button to delete the original message from your inbox.
Well, that was a quick overview of how you can use Outlook Express to send and receive messages. But there's a lot more that Outlook Express can do, like automatically deleting unwanted junk mail, or creating a system of folders so you can organize all the messages that you want to save. Not to mention participating in newsgroup discussions on just about any topic you can think of. In fact, in this video, we've shown you only a small fraction of what Windows 98 can do. There are so many other great features that we cover in the rest of our Learn Windows 98 series. In our Learn Windows 98 Advanced Internet and Email video, we'll go into much more depth on emailing and using the Internet. And we'll show you how to use another great feature of Windows 98 called Net Meeting. Net Meeting lets you do video conferencing right from your computer, so you can actually see the person you're talking to. It also lets you connect your computer to someone else's, so you can use the programs on their computer.
You might also want to check out our Learn Windows 98 Beyond the Basics video. Here we're going to show you a lot of the features of Windows 98 that were not in Windows 95, like digital video discs, web TV, the new CD music player, and we'll show you how to maintain your computer so it runs as smoothly and as quickly as possible.
And don't forget about our Learn Windows 98 Tips, Tricks, and Shortcuts video. Here we'll show you all kinds of ways to get things done more quickly and easily. How would you like to put a live stop ticker right on your desktop? We'll also show you some keyboard shortcuts you can use to start programs in an instant. We'll show you how to double your hard disk space, and we'll even show you how to troubleshoot your own problems so you might not need to call those technical support lines.
Well, Tom and Raina, that was a great overview of Windows 98, and I'm definitely looking forward to learning about all those other features you talked about. If you want to learn more about these or any other WinStruct training products, just connect to WinStruct's website at www.winstruct.com, or you can order our products by calling 800-242-4842. Now, if you have any feedback, please send it to info@winstruct.com. So for Tom Jaffe, Raina Chudnovsky, and myself, Julie Leiden, I'd like to thank you for choosing WinStruct, the software guys, for your Windows training needs.